As far as losses go, that was an okay one. As far as Christmas defeats, I've seen worse. Look, it's never fun to lose a football game. It's never fun to lose at Arrowhead. It's never fun to lose at Arrowhead on Christmas to the Denver Broncos. But that's okay. That went all right. Welcome to Everything Else. I'm Joshua Brisco, brought to you by KC Cannabis Company. I would have loved for Travis Kelce to have had a chance to catch a game-tying, winning touchdown at the end of the fourth quarter. I would have loved to have seen a little more from a handful of players who we'll talk about today. But as Tom just said in the chat here on the KCSN YouTube channel, where you can watch the show live every episode starting at noon, Mondays and Fridays. We're rolling on through the offseason, folks, so I don't think we're going anywhere. But as Tom says in the chat, it didn't destroy the Christmas cheer completely. That, to me, is pretty much what I wanted them to do. Just, hey, look, whatever happens, happens. We'll talk about the draft pick things and all of that. I think, like most of us, I'm of two minds on the draft pick situation as opposed to just wanting the football team to win football games. One win over the Broncos here late in the season probably would not have been the difference between the Chiefs having a real chance to get a blue chip player in April versus not having an opportunity to get one of those guys. But I also didn't want to just see the third string Chiefs just get thumped at home and totally steal our final bit of Christmas cheer. That was a respectable football game by the Kansas City Chiefs, a respectable outing from Chris Oladokun. It was fine. The draft odds and the picks where the Chiefs are more likely to be selecting, those numbers keep looking better and better. And the season, of course, has been lost already and has been for a couple weeks now from a playoff perspective, losing Patrick Mahomes. Give me an honest effort. Let me see a couple players I'd like to be able to evaluate for the offseason, and we'll take it from there. The Chiefs did do that yesterday against the Broncos. I'm not as happy as I could be because I would love to have said something about a big day for, again, a couple rookies who we'll get to momentarily. But you know what I didn't expect? You know who I didn't think would be one of the first players we spent significant time on the day after Christmas, after having an invisible or actively harmful season all the way up until this point? Okay, Christian Fulton, I guess we'll pay attention. I guess there's a question to be had there. I thought that the Christian Fulton offseason conversation was most likely going to be a formality of how much salary cap space can you save? Do you need to make him a post-June 1st cut to try to spread any of those guaranteed cap hits out? What's the plan going to be for getting this atrocious contract off the books? And now I'm kind of thinking, well, I mean, that's what they thought they were getting. That's the player they were signing for 2 years, $20 million this last offseason. That's not who I expected under my Christmas tree, but I'll take it. I'm interested. He's been battling injuries all year, never got consistent playing time. When he was out there, it was not very good. And then yesterday, he has a really nice game. Better job dealing with Courtland Sutton than most. Obviously, no Trent McDuffie, no Jalen Watson. I just didn't think we'd be talking about Christian Fulton today. And look, I know by the tenor of the early comments how this may going on here. There's not a lot of money to be saved next year by cutting Christian Fulton. You could free up about $5 million in cap space, according to the spot track page for Fulton's contract. They gave him 2 years, $20 million with $15 million guaranteed. It's not a deal where it's like, oh, you know what? They should extend him for a couple years. Now, I'm just saying that he's on the books already. And you know who's not on the books? Jalen Watson. You know who's not going to be on the books at the number he's on there next year right now? Trent McDuffie. under team control, but it seems pretty clear that we're in extend or get off the pot territory for McDuffie this offseason. But if you're saying, yeah, you could free up $5 million by cutting Christian Fulton or have him be opposite the guy who matters more for the long haul, to be clear, maybe he's opposite Noel Williams, and you're building a secondary again. Maybe you still try to bring back Jalen Watson. Maybe Trent McDuffie doesn't go anywhere. You're going to need to have at least 3 corners you're happy to have out there. Maybe it's Williams and Fulton. They draft somebody and they do something crazy in terms of trying to flip McDuffie for some assets. And again, maybe Watson's a part of it long term, whatever it may be. But that was an interesting wrinkle when we were all keeping an eye on Noel Williams, who by all first viewings, I will say, Noel Williams had another really nice day, where it kind of seemed like, honestly, Bo Nix was not interested in throwing at Noel Williams if he could avoid it. Now, it begs the question of where was he throwing the football again? We might get to that a little bit later. But that's an interesting, positive development in the Chiefs secondary, a unit that seems to always be at least good enough regardless of who's back there from a talent perspective. I think that says a lot about Dave Merritt, Steve Spagnuolo, what they ask for from their cornerbacks. Hat tip to Brett Veach for the young guys they've brought in. Again, the Fulton thing had looked like a total scuff mark on that resume, but maybe there's life to be had. Then yes, they target Shamari Connor when he ends up in the slot. Nick Bolton, moving forward, great football game. Having to be the guy that gets picked on in coverage, not a great sign. An incredible interception, Christian Fulton and Nick Bolton. Fulton Bolton 2026. Great play all around there, but just, I don't know, interesting pieces there for the defense going forward. Again, I am not trying to sell anybody on the long-term upshot of Christian Fulton in the long haul. But he'll be 28 next year, I think. The Chiefs signed him to a 2-year deal with this being the plan. Again, this wasn't funny money for next year of 1-year deal, and if you play really well, next year you're going to be able to stick around. They gave him real money to be here next year originally. I'm not arguing with anybody here in the chat. I'm not telling you that, again, one great play doesn't redeem it. It wasn't one great play. Christian Fulton had one excellent game. And I'm telling you that in a point of evaluating what you're going to have for 2026, when you have a guy who is already on the books for $13 million, and that if you cut him, you're still holding $8 million against the salary cap to free up $5 million. I'm saying it's good to see Christian Fulton have that game and give you a glimpse of why he might be worth keeping around for next year, because you just haven't seen anything from him so far this season. So that's a good development. Noel Williams' development, much more important. The rookie class, much more important. But we're going to spend a lot of time on the corners this offseason. And now it's not a foregone conclusion, because we did finally, and really late in the season, to be clear, we did finally see the spark from Fulton that gives you a little bit of hope. That's that. I had no idea that Christian Fulton was going to be an unstoppable force in either the game or the comment section. But that's where I'm at right now. Also, in a kind of a similar boat here, just take your hat off to Chris Oladokun. Now, look, I need Tucker to bring his stat later on today. I forgot to pull it up before the show. They were not pushing the ball downfield. They had, I believe, 95 yards of offense until that final drive. I don't think anyone ought to overreact. I don't think anybody ought to anoint Chris Oladokun as the guaranteed bridge quarterback of this offseason. But you can see it. You see it. I think he's kind of nice. Kind of a hooper, as you say. Look, if you can dribble and pick it up and find a receiver downfield, that does good things for my NFL Street 2 heart. I like to see the ability to scramble and to create out of structure and to do some of those things. I guess I'll say, Esapole and Chugodrick did an all right job keeping Oladokun clean. That's a vicious Broncos pass rush. I think they got some help. I have not rewatched this game. Please don't only credit me so much for working on my birthday and Christmas Eve and Christmas and today. Look, I'm out here being a Gruden grinder. I have not gone through the tape to see if Chugodrick had as clean of a day as I think he did on first watch. All right, hand up. Tucker, you're waving at me in the bottom. I can't tell what. No, nothing. No, that's not for me. Got it. Talk about a grit and grinder. This is Tucker's third show of the morning. Tucker's in the lab, literally.
I was waving goodbye to the lab is what I was doing. That's what I was waving.
It looked like it was coming to the camera straight ahead, and I was like, did I say something that Tucker really wants to chime in on?
It's the same feed, yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. That makes total sense. But, hey, look. I don't think anybody's trying to get Chris Oladokun into a starting role this offseason. I don't even know that he's going to be the guy the Chiefs have running things in training camp and all of that. But you can see the Mahomesy flavoring of his ability to scramble and do things on the move. And you can tell who he's been spending time with in the quarterback room. That's fun. And he deserves credit for that. He deserves to start against the Raiders. Nothing but a hat tip to him for what he was able to do there. I also don't want to freak out and pretend that they had more than 100 yards before the final drive of that game. It wasn't beautiful, but it was all right. Chambers in the chat says, I was ready to replace Mahomes. Good thinking. I'll hold off on that for now. Thank you. I think let's see it one more time from Oladokun, and then maybe what you do to reset the playoff clock, to reset the dynasty in Kansas City. Oladokun's a couple years younger than Mahomes. Yeah, I'm just saying. Okay, so Oladokun, nice. Young tackles, man. I want to give it up to Pole and Godric for guys who didn't play high school football, have been your starting tackles these last 2 weeks, and Pole was probably at fault on that safety in Tennessee. It has not been clean, it has not been perfect, but it has still been impressive in many ways. Tipping that hat, a lot of directions there. We'll probably talk about Travis Kelce a little more later. Dude's just a warrior. May have played his last game at Arrowhead. Selfishly, I'd love to see him return. I'm going to leave that to him. He has certainly earned it. But, man, there are a couple of players that I thought we were going to see more of. And maybe I shouldn't have, because we didn't see them in Tennessee very much either. But when I saw that Jeffrey Bassa was out on the field early in the game, I thought, oh, okay, we're gonna see a little more of him this week. Awesome. Okay, now that the Chiefs are like really, really out of it, they're gonna try to get him some more run. Okay, let's see what he can do. I saw the tweets. Starting lineup. You know who's in the starting lineup? Jalen Royals. Holy cow. We're gonna get the worthy. I think it might have been Hollywood, Juju, and Royals actually on the start. Okay, maybe get the worthy Royals Hollywood offense. You pull Juju back a little bit, and you've been out here grinding for this team for a long time. Let's see what the young guy can do. I was pretty interested to see where that was going to go. We're going to save the Bashard Smith conversation for the B block today, because it's just going to be all about him for a little bit. But I was really interested. I was pretty excited to see what was going to end up happening for old Jeff Bassa and Jalen Royals. You want the good news first or the bad news first? Here's the good news. Jeffrey Bassa, 2 tackles, 1 solo. He had a nice play in pass coverage somewhere too, right? Go, man, all right. So how many snaps is he on the field for? 4. I'm not repeating myself. That's the answer. How many snaps was he on the field for? 4. 4 defensive snaps for Jeff Bassa. Look, man, I like Drew Tranquill a lot. He's probably not on the team next year. You gave him 65 snaps against Denver. Hey, look, I know Nick Bolton is. I know the defense literally doesn't exist without Nick Bolton on the field. I've accepted that fact. There is no defense without Nick Bolton. 71 snaps like that. A guy who has been taking some hits this year. Mike linebacker, eating run plays, making acrobatic interceptions. I don't know if that's going to change next week either. I don't know if week 18 changes that. I'm cool with having some of your starters out there to set the tone and have everybody else set up. I'm not saying that Nick Bolton should have gone to IR with the rest of the roster that did. But if Drew Tranquill's playing 65 snaps, could you see that slider just move a little bit closer to the rookie's direction just to see him get in the mix? Look, I'm not going to speak ill of Cooper McDonald because I want Craig Stout to continue to love and appreciate me as a friend. 21 snaps for Cooper McDonald? Cool. Seems about right for a guy you want to evaluate. He was undrafted. You did spend a draft pick on Jeffrey Bassa. You moved up to get Jeffrey Bassa, right? I just want to know what you got. I don't know that he's Fred Warner. If I would bet he's probably not. But I would just like to see some of those live reps. Love the energy the day after Christmas from Steve. Why? Since you know so much. Steve, if I knew why the Chiefs made all of their decisions, I don't think I would be doing a podcast. I think I would be either working in the front office or writing a tell-all. I don't know why they're not out there other than the tendencies that this team has to continue to lean on the veterans. And I understand that you want to have functional football. I understand that you are playing to win the game. I get that. 100%. But your team next year, that right now is not eliminated from playoff contention, your future for years to come probably isn't going to have Drew Tranquill, and you just drafted Jeffrey Bassa, and you have not seen him play a meaningful amount of defensive snaps yet. I'm not telling you that he's a star. I just want to see the reps. I just want to see some opportunities. And this is a rare opportunity because you are playing games that matter to your opponent, as opposed to just getting him more reps in training camp and in the preseason. I just wanted to see it used that way. Same goes for Jalen Royals. There's one game left in Jalen Royals' rookie season. He's not been targeted yet. He got 5 offensive snaps yesterday. I saw a nice run block snap from him. That was encouraging. Something you got to be able to do to stay in the rotation. And look, I'm not in any way, I am 0% upset about Jalen Royals not playing for the first 12 weeks of the season. Honestly, really 0%. The red shirt thing was fine with me. You have an injury issue back in training camp. You're a rookie wide receiver in Andy Reid's offense, and there are real professional NFL receivers ahead of you in the depth chart. Just get acclimated and keep it moving. Totally understand that. I really, really do. Tyquan Thornton's on IR. Rashee Rice is on IR. Juju Smith-Schuster has played a lot of snaps. And again, not under contract for next year. Hollywood Brown, not under contract for next year. You clearly want to still see some things from Xavier Worthy. He's been banged up since the 3rd snap of the season. I just want to see it. I'd like to see Chris Oladokun, who's been the scout team quarterback this season, practice squad guy. I imagine he's been working with Jalen Royals. I kind of thought that was like a silver lining of the Oladokun thing, was like, well, maybe he's probably got a little bit of chemistry with Royals so far. I'd be curious to see what Jalen Royals did in 10 or 15 routes against Pat Surtain or whoever the Broncos have on Jalen Royals. Can you create a little separation? Do you have a little wiggle? Can you show off your hands at the end of your rookie season when that opportunity does become available to you? In games that matter, I'm totally fine with going to Juju before you go to Jalen Royals. Patrick Mahomes has trust and chemistry and a relationship with Juju. We're talking about Chris Oladokun in week 16, 17, 18. I want to use this as evaluation time because you need to get all the information you can before you go in the next offseason. That's all that it is for me. And I'm also still not here on that I don't think the word tank is actually in any way really accurate to where the Chiefs are at right now. They were not very good this season in a lot of ways that mattered. They lost their starting quarterback. They lost their backup quarterback. They lost every offensive tackle on their roster who played high school football. They've just been losing a lot of pieces. They're not trying to lose. Now, at this point, it's fine that they do because you are looking to the future. But they're not tanking. I'd be pretty surprised to find out that Tyquan Thornton's actually fine. Because I think a lot of those guys also would like to be on the field, showcasing for themselves, if it's not for the Chiefs, for somebody, here's who I can be for you, as an NFL player getting a legitimate workload. This is one that I don't think most people are really thinking about, but Jared Wiley got 5 snaps. You draft him, he tears his ACL, he comes back, he's a healthy scratch pretty much all year. He got out there the games, 2 games I think, that Noah Gray was in the concussion protocol. I'm not telling you that Jared Wiley's going to replace Travis Kelce, but I am saying I'd like to see him give us some chartable snaps. And as I talked about last week, if that's not feasible, that's either because you just can't run a functioning offense or defense with these young guys on the field, which is concerning in its own right, or they've just seen it in practice and they know. And if that's the case, that's really tough. Because if you are completely out on Jared Wiley, Jaden Hicks, CJ Hansen, Jalen Royals, Jeffrey Bossa, maybe Bashard Smith. We're looking at 2 years in a row and almost 3 years in a row of your third day of drafting just not being worth anything. I don't think that's where they're at. That's not where I'm at. I know, I think I mentioned this on Monday. But Jalen Royals, Jeffrey Bossa, Bashard Smith, Jared Wiley, Jaden Hicks, Hunter Norzad, Kamal Haddon, CJ Hansen, Shamari Connor, BJ Thompson, Keandre Coburn, Nick Jones. Those are your day 3 draft picks. After Josh Williams, Darian Kennard, Jalen Watson, Isaiah Pacheco, Najee Johnson, and get Trey Smith in the 6th round, Noah Gray in the 5th round the year before that, Mike Dana and L'Jarius Sneed the year before that. It's really, really hard to find guys in the 3rd day of the draft. But just in that world, I just want to see those guys get some opportunities when they have the chance to have this opportunity. That's where I'm at. Seamus makes a good point. They're not trying to tank. They're trying to get a morale win at the moment. Absolutely. And I'm not a huge moral victory guy, but I'm going to take a slight moral victory from that game last night. Because, again, you did get to see it from some players who got the opportunity, I think did pretty well. I'm not learning anything about Drew Tranquil or Shamari Connor or Brian Cook. It's not that those guys aren't good players, won't be starters here or somewhere else next year. I'm just not learning anything else about them, and I think there is still something to learn about some of these young guys. We'll talk about Bashard Smith on the other side of the timeout, but first, I'll tell you about our friends at Kansas City Cannabis. Check them out at kccannabis.com for adult use only, 21 and over, of course. They are crafted for Kansas City, by Kansas City. They are a part of this community in a very palpable way. They're locally owned, they're community rooted, and they've got 5 KC area locations: KC North, Blue Springs, Kearney, Excelsior, and Lottawanna. We're always telling you about how many sales they've got going on, all of their specials and everything. You can always check that out at kccannabis.com. See the menu, click the location. You can order online and go pick it up. You can go into any of those locations and talk to the bud tenders about what's right for you. That's what they're able to do with the education and the care from real people behind the counter there who are passionate about their industry, passionate about giving you the information, the intel that you need to find what's right for you, and they bring you a top-notch service by doing it exactly that way. So maybe you are a first-timer curious about the cannabis world and what might be right for you. Maybe you're a seasoned vet that just wants to get some excellent product from a local company. Well, you can do all of that at KC Cannabis and kccannabis.com.
Looking for premium products in Kansas City? Whether you're new to the world of dispensaries or a seasoned enthusiast, we've got just what you're looking for. Proudly Kansas City owned and operated, with 5 convenient locations in Kearney, Blue Springs, Excelsior Springs, KC North, and Lake Lottawanna. And our knowledgeable team can help educate and guide you so you can feel confident in every choice you make. Come see for yourself what makes us the most trusted name in Kansas City.
Tucker, how was your Christmas, my friend?
My Christmas was good. I'm trying to think what I did.
It was yesterday.
I know, it was yesterday. I actually got hit really good in the head yesterday, and I think I actually might have got a concussion yesterday. I was carrying Christmas presents out to the car we were at Tara's aunt's house, and Karen Christus runs out the car. Tara popped the trunk and like had the trunk up, but she was parked on like a hill, right? And I was holding so one of my Christmas, I got a lot of grilling stuff. I talked about this on that football show. I am just like lawn care tools away from being a white suburban dad, and also a kid away from being a white suburban dad.
Yeah. I've got some yard tools that I might be able to give you. I do not have a kid for you.
No kids? Okay, cool.
No.
I've got to figure out how those are made. And so I got a bunch of grilling stuff, right? And one of the things was just basically a cast iron griddle that you can put on your grill.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So you can basically, so like it turns into a flat top, right?
Love that.
And I was really stoked about that. It's cast iron, so it's really heavy. And I was like only carrying it with like my fingertips, right? And I also had like a 21 piece grill set also in my hand holding it. And so like my arm was like, all right, I'm holding out to the car. What's up, Lily? And Tara had the trunk open, again, parked on an incline, right? Yeah. So had the trunk open. I throw it on in there, just like straight wrist and forearm, right? Getting that all in there. And I just leaned up against the car. Trunk comes down, smokes me in the side of the head. And that was one, I've had a few concussions in my life, right? I played offensive line, so like I've had probably more than a few.
Yeah.
That was one where I was dazed for a second. Like there was like a little bit where it hit me and I like saw stars a little bit. It got a little fuzzy. I was dizzy.
The birds flying around your head, chirping.
Yeah, and I had to sit there and just like I had to kind of like stare for a second to be like, whoa. I got my bell rung by the top of the trunk. Maybe that's why I don't really remember what I did yesterday.
I mean, I feel like you might need to go ahead and hop in the protocol. I don't know if you want to put you on IR for the rest of the year or what, but and that's concerning to me.
No, I'm no Tyquan Thornton. Was he in the concussion protocol?
I think Thornton and Rice both went concussion to IR, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Bad concussion.
I'm worried. I'm worried about you. As Arrow Ed in the chat just said, looking at screens, not good for concussions.
Well, it's a good thing that as soon as I got done with that, I went and watched a full football game, recorded a postgame show, did that football show right afterwards, went to sleep for a little bit. Then I woke up and did Only Weird Games this morning, and then did the Casey Laboratory. Now I'm doing this show. So it's a good thing that that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we at least ought to get you some sunglasses or something at this point, because I'll say that I'm not worried about your brain health, but you're gonna get offline a little bit this weekend, right? So I mean, no
worries about
the
that.
brain break is coming. You gonna get on a plane in a car? Are you gonna? Did Tara drive? You good?
Tara did drive, so I didn't have to drive after I got a concussion. I feel I've had plenty of concussions in my life, right? Like the lights aren't making noise, so that's good, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Have you ever
I guess
had a concussion?
Yeah. I mean, I also played offensive line, and so I think I probably have my share of subconcussive hits.
Sure. Yeah.
The one that I really remember that I think was both the concussion and some sort of like neck injury was that I was the backup center. And the starting center got hurt. I think screwed up his neck or something. I went in and, this 45-year-old, 350-pound nose tackle who was somehow playing high school football, I snapped the ball. He knows there's a backup in. And like, I don't remember exactly why my form was so bad, but I do know that my neck got telescoped like halfway down to my lower back, like a cartoon character. And so I was out after that play just trying to like make anything happen. And I remember telling the coach who was like trying to, and so the original center went back in. Don't remember what happened to him. And I ended up going back in on defense. I didn't feel like I could make that movement with my neck anymore, but I did enjoy playing defensive end and felt like I didn't need all of my brain and neck flexibilities.
Sure.
I did return to the game just as soon as we got on defense. I think I might have long snapped again later on as well. But I don't think we were protecting the long snapper in high school like the NFL is now either. So it was definitely not my best stretch. But again, also for a good follow-up question from Seamus. You remember your concussions? I remember that incident. I don't know I'll tell you what, we did not have a protocol. I don't want to alarm anybody, but I think we had a shed.
I got a really bad concussion my junior year of practice leading into the jamboree. And I don't really remember how it happened, but I remember like being in like doing our concussion test where you have to like read the numbers. Like this is what the concussion test was. Like they had
I never had this.
Yeah, so it has like a bunch of numbers in a row and you just like read them, and then it has them like scattered across the page, and then it has them with like lines drawn like so you're supposed to follow the line.
Yeah.
And I remember like the numbers kept moving on the page, and I was like, why are these numbers moving? And so I remember taking the concussion test, and then after I got done, I don't think I finished the test because the coach was like, yeah, no, like you're.
It was like Severance. You're like, the numbers are scary, and they were like, Tucker, you gotta sit down.
Yeah, I remember that, and then I was like, so am I going to play this weekend? And he's like, no, you're not. But no, that was a pretty nasty one. I don't really remember how it happened though. I just remember like going into like the office, the coach being like, "Hey Tucker, come here," and I was just like, "Yeah, what's up?"
Dude, I can't believe that they had children out here doing Oklahoma drills. It's just.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't change it for the world though. I wish they still did Oklahoma drills because it was awesome. It was so cool.
No, it is. But it's an irresponsible thing to make children do.
Sure. Irresponsible, yes. Badass.
From ages 12 through 18, I think the coaches had a fun time getting the little dude out there to eat absolute bleep from the 6'4" dual threat quarterback just to set an example. I just
set the tone, yeah.
To set the freaking tone.
I'm a tone setter. I get it. Yeah.
That was not. It also wasn't helpful. Football is very rarely an Oklahoma drill.
That's actually a really good point. What does that translate to? Tackling in space, I guess, but like...
I guess.
I don't know when you ever
I'm sure
in football
Shamari
have to
Connor
get up from your ass to turn around immediately to try to find a ball carrier to tackle him. Unless you are Shamari Connor, right? If you are, you're usually on your ass, and then you gotta get up to find the ball carrier.
And we also, I did the from the ground one many times. We would also sometimes just line up 10 yards apart and just wait for the whistle and just go.
Yeah,
and that's
do you ever put like two linemen though in the middle? So there's usually like sometimes what we would do is we would go, it would be like offensive lineman, defensive lineman, one-on-one with the running back and like a linebacker.
That's
like
something.
4 people involved. So there's a little bit of more like there because the running back has to like obviously read where the block's going and then has to try to break the tackle from the linebacker. But then sometimes you do it with like 2 and 2 or 2 and 1, right? So like you can mix it up a little bit there. But
that feels like at least closer to football than just like, all right, we're gonna have this guy who plays guard and this cornerback are gonna do an Oklahoma drill. It's like, thanks, coach.
Right,
this is how we're gonna win a game this year for sure.
God, if I could just throw the pads on and do one more Oklahoma drill, I'd do it in a heartbeat, man.
In a heartbeat. That might be like a draft thing this year. Like I'll tell you what. Also, here's the problem. It's gonna be really, really, really bad for a number of people. Like if we just up at Holiday, we went out to the grass with some shoulder pads and helmets, and we did a couple Oklahoma drills. Like I'm thinking about it from Kent's side, who did, play high level holding college football at Mid-America.
In AIA, yes.
Kent's 2 options are that he either like drops one of us and we never hear the end of it for the rest of our natural lives,
that won't happen, yeah.
Or the Swanson family doesn't have a father and husband anymore. Like, those are the 2 paths. Either Kent embarrasses us for all time, or it goes from draft party to funeral for a friend.
D-Plug makes a good point because there will be a couple of bourbons in the mix this week.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, which I think just exacerbates that exact thing. I don't know if it makes it more likely or less likely that Matty can't play. We just can't I don't think anybody wants that smoke. I think he gets the gold medal until anybody wants to challenge him. I'm not going to. I think he can get some pop out of his pads still. I think he's you versus Matty might be would be the most electric collision. But like
probably, yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to see
gravity.
either of you do that.
I got a low center of gravity. That's my benefit there. Low man wins, in that regard. But yeah, no. Craig versus Seth could be fun. Craig is a lanky dude, man. I think Craig could be tough to bring down. Also
but again,
expensive.
what a fascinating matchup that would be. Jake Dennis in the comments says we used to this. I remember this. I did this. We used to run full speed 1-on-1 into a small channel surrounded by 2 blocking dummies and the entire team cheering on prepubescent CTE.
Yeah,
That's what I remember, Jake. It's what I think I remember.
Did you see the video? Was it Aaron Donald who like had his son and like shoulder, and he like had his helmet on? Was just like microdosing CTE to his kid or something?
I don't like a guy who has a genuine argument as the greatest player to ever play football.
Yeah.
To ever wear shoulder pads. I'm not sure he's the one, but Aaron Donald is in a very, very, very small class of people who could reasonably argue that they're the greatest football player of all time. He is teaching his kid to play football with helmet-to-helmet contact. I was a kid 3 or something, just like
Yeah, it's kind of
that video was jarring to me. At least he didn't put the knives on his hands for his kid. At least we're waiting until I don't know what year you start training with knives if you're Donald.
6 probably. He's probably got a couple more years. He might still be able to play right now, Aaron Donald. Speaking of, I don't know why I said speaking of because we weren't talking about this. Speaking of players that have come back and like signed contracts, like Phillip Rivers, he could definitely be retired in 5 years and then sign, not miss a beat.
Yes, not only now, but I think in 5 years. I think you're right. I think Aaron Donald could be the guy that is obviously first ballot Hall of Famer. If he stays in shape, which I think he has every intention of doing, I think he could wear the gold jacket on the sideline, like the big overcoats when it's cold. Just get him a giant gold jacket.
Do you remember when Chado Chocinco did that and he'd said Hall of Fame 220 and then question mark?
Yeah, I guess that year
appalled by that.
That year's still coming, right? I feel like he needs that.
Yeah.
You're right, man. It's crazy to look at just across the world, the kind of things that used to be scandalizing that now feel quaint.
Why?
No reason.
Okay.
Let me look up Chad Johnson's Pro Football Reference page here.
Dude, actually, that 05 season, that 05 Chad Johnson season was nasty. He was Jamar Chase before Jamar Chase. Chad Johnson walked so Jamar Chase could run.
6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. There are so many receivers of this era who I am still convinced are like, yeah, no, that's a first ballot Hall of Famer to me. And then you look at like Deshaun Jackson's actual production, you're like, wait a second, what? I thought for sure. I think Deshaun, we've done this bit before, but Deshaun Jackson I think had like one Pro Bowler, 1 All-Pro, 3 Pro Bowls, no All-Pros.
Right.
I guess second team All-Pro.
This is what happens to me every time I look up Dwayne Bowe's stats.
Oh, stop.
I thought Dwayne Bowe was like the best receiver in the world, and then I went and I looked at his stats and I was like, oh.
Be right back.
Kind of pains me. No, it's okay. Yeah, I don't think he'll get in because there's a log jam right now.
I'm not sure if it was Christmas or birthday or what year, but I like it was just across the room. Like I know where my original Dwayne Bowe jersey is at all times. Yeah. It's a medium. Probably not going to get this on during the show today.
Yeah.
But
that's so sick. Is that the Reebok one?
Yes. It smells weird. Why does it smell weird?
Well, maybe I never washed it. Good luck.
I did wash it when I got it back. I think it was at my parents' house.
Oh. It's not like is it the Reebok one where it's like the letters like they're like kind of tacky a little bit?
So they are stitched on.
Oh, it's a stitched Reebok. It's like, okay, yeah.
Well, but it's like the mid-level. Because they're stitched on, but the actual lettering has fake white stitches to make it look like it's double stitched.
Right.
And
right.
This does, I think it was relatively early with the Lamar Hunt patch, but the patch is sewn on, but the patch itself is screen printed.
It's a screen printed patch.
Yes. So it's right there in that mid range of nicer than the Kohl's one, but not the $200 whatever authentic.
Yep.
And I will die with this jersey in my possession. And if my will is followed to its exact details, I will be buried in this jersey, regardless of the fact that it's a medium.
In Arrowhead.
I haven't been able to secure that plot yet, but chances keep improving, it seems.
It seems like it might actually turn into a graveyard because I don't know if there's going to be anything there after 2031.
I got to make it to 2031 first, which I have every intention of doing.
That's
but
a great point.
I've played pretty fast and loose before.
Here's a good question. That doesn't seem like a real year, does it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No.
Cool.
Hey, look, 6 years
page
ago, I didn't
there.
have diabetes. I mean, things happen.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But you got a shout out on that football show this morning, by the way.
Oh, fantastic. I checked to see if it had hit the podcast feed earlier, and it hadn't yet. I wasn't sure what time
the
we were.
audio didn't go out until noon because it was a late game, so I held the audio for a little bit, but it was out
Fair.
on the
Oh,
YouTube.
what great. So now, just by word association there, did I get a shout out for diabetes reasons?
Yeah, you did. Did you see what Matt got for Christmas?
Yes, I tweeted him about it.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I got a shout out.
I got some mini Reese's cups and a candy cane right here.
We've always got Santa has always gotten me this those candy canes, right? And I always house everything that is in those candy canes. It's just like it's gone within minutes of me getting it. And I had Reese's Pieces yesterday, and it was gone so quick. Yeah,
you'll notice this is still
good.
This is still sealed because as soon as the seal comes out, it's just time. The ones that are the easiest candy in the world to house. Well, you know what? You said Reese's Pieces, so we're close. I'm curious if you're gonna know where I'm already going here.
Okay.
Now again, the diabetes would make this more challenging, but I could plan. That's what I have the insulin for. That's what the insulin's for. I think I could eat 25 tubes of mini M&Ms. And I think I could probably do it in like 5 minutes.
The sound that those tubes make when you pop them open too, so cool.
I don't. It's not in here. I don't think because my bag of candy is. Oh no, yeah, it's out in the kitchen. I'm not gonna go get it. It sounds good when you shake it. That pop of the cap is unbelievable. And all I truly want to do when I open one of those is to just throw the whole thing down instantly.
Yeah, and then the mini ones too, right? Yeah, you're talking the mini M&Ms ones, so they're like the tinier ones.
Yes. Oh. The ballistics quality of the mini M&Ms is just unmatchable.
Yeah.
It's not the most delicious of all, and frankly, not even the most delicious mini M&M. The peanut butter mini M&Ms.
Really?
Delicious. Delightful.
I didn't know those existed.
They're great. Peanut butter M&Ms are probably again better in terms of like the ratios of everything. But
sure.
Man, I love a mini M&M.
Mini M&Ms are good.
I'm gonna close my Deshaun Jackson Pro Football Reference page.
I constantly have a Deshaun Jackson Pro Football.
It's my homepage actually, which is why it was.
Every time I open up a browser, it's Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah. Man, that season really a delight. Let's do this. We're gonna manage our time better than usual. Let's go ahead and take our second time out right now. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about Bashard Smith because I've been saving it and saving it and saving it. We gotta just. I heard you and Kent talk about him on postgame.
Yeah.
I have a slight disagreement with you and Mr. Swanson.
Good.
And I feel like we can get to the bottom of this and we can save the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that's a reasonable expectation. We'll do that next.
Missouri, your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is now live in your state. Now you can make every game even more exciting with same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more, all from your phone, all safe, secure, and easy to use. Missouri fans know game day. The tailgates, the noise, the passion. Now with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can bring that same energy to every snap, every touchdown, every win. And right now, new Missouri customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, no nonsense, just pure action powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KCSN. New Missouri customers bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code KCSN. The crown is yours. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
I want to ask you a question about Bashard Smith, Tucker. I want you to present this take if you hold it as truth, if you hold this as self-evident.
Mm-hmm.
So Bashard Smith, so I guess I should say this before I formally open up the question here. Bashard Smith had his first career touchdown yesterday. Also,
Congrats.
Chris Oladokin's first career touchdown. I really do hope they cut the football in half.
That is very funny.
I think that rules. Nick Springer and I were talking about this during the game, post-game. Hot dog or hamburger?
That's the exact question I was going to ask you, so I'm so glad. When I raised my finger, that was the question I was going to ask. It's definitely hamburger style, right?
I think so. I originally had been thinking about you cut it down the seams and like down the stitches and everything,
right?
Which would be still very cool. But I had to Google this when I was explaining it to Nick. Do you remember I think it was called the pass back?
Yeah,
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a football with the seams and everything, but the front is flat, so you can like throw it off a brick wall or whatever and have it bounce back to you. Mm-hmm. The official toy of only children everywhere, I suppose. But
right, yes.
You cut it in half. If you then you stuff it and put some plastic wrap over the end, probably something fancier than that. That's actually kind of awesome to think yep, first career touchdown pass, first career touchdown reception. Having half of an NFL football, a game ball that way, is
that's a conversation starter.
Yeah, I have a real love for weird merch and weird memorabilia. In some ways, that's kind of cooler than just having the ball.
Yeah,
I like
it. I thought that was cool, and that was one of the first thoughts I had. I didn't bring it up with Kent. I was they plan on cutting the ball in half, and when they said that's where my brain went though. My brain went to hamburger style to boom. You get this half, you get this point, I get this point type of deal. For cutting it in half, that's how I envisioned it.
It's going to be much easier structurally to make that work. And
sure.
Again, the idea of stuffing it and being able to put it in a case or whatever. Heck, yeah, right, yes. I hadn't thought of that until cut it in half, set it point up. And that's amazing.
And one of the panels you probably, because they usually always do this, right? They always paint it white and then just put all the details on it.
Yeah.
You can still do that with one of the panels, but then it runs vertically, right?
Yes.
You paint it and then you just have all of the details of the score vertically. I think that would be pretty cool.
I think this is genius.
Theseus football, oh my gosh.
Football of Theseus, that's awesome. So Bashard Smith ends up with 4 targets, 3 catches, and the touchdown. That's not a crazy stat line. Until you realize that he got 4 targets playing 6 offensive snaps. Bashard Smith played 6 snaps. There have now been 2 games in a row where the Chiefs had no playoff implications, and in those 2 games, he has combined for 0 total carries. He had 14 carries back against the Las Vegas Raiders in October. That was 4th quarter. Gardner Minshew literally just handed the ball off. Handed to Bashard Smith. He got 14 carries in that game. Since that game, remember how long ago that game felt? Since that game, Bashard Smith has 10 carries. He hasn't had 3 carries in a single game since the loss in Buffalo when he went 3 for 7. So what I will alley-oop to you here, Tucker, is this question. Is Bashard Smith a running back?
I don't think so. When you look at his history, obviously as a football player, he was a wide receiver at the University of Miami before transferring and to SMU to then become a running back. And he only has played running back for it's either a year or 2 years.
It was just that last year.
Okay, so 2 years if you want to include all of this year for the Kansas City Chiefs. And what they've been using him and kind of how they've been using him has been more of a slot type receiver. He's been good when he's got the ball in his hands, and we saw him on the return game, right? You just talk about the dynamicism. Interesting word I just invented.
Nailed it, dude. Hell yeah.
With the ball in his hands, he's fun to watch move with the football. And running back is usually a position where you can get the ball in your hands and you can move with the ball. That's what makes sense. The thought process is there for making him a running back. But he doesn't run he doesn't play football like a running back, in my opinion. I don't see him as that, and I think that, the Chiefs have a track record of using wide receivers that are built like him too, like of liking wide receivers that are built like him. So I think it is advantageous for them to kind of move him to a slot wide receiver wearing number 24. Have we seen
Worked
that before?
It can work again. They should have just
though?
switched rooms. They should have just switched position rooms.
They really should have.
Actually, no, they shouldn't have. Sky Moore has found his home. It's in San Francisco with DeMarcus Robinson.
Truthfully, shout out to him. He's been one of the legitimately one of the best returners in the National Football League this year. Crazy.
I don't know if Dave Toub is vindicated or punching air. I can't tell.
I don't know.
I hear your take, and I heard Kent say he's DeAnthony Thomas on the postgame. I think he said that earlier this year as well.
Yeah.
And I think that I get it. I'm not willing to make that call yet, simply because I don't think the Chiefs deserve the benefit of the doubt that they know what he is at this point. I am not as eager to get to the point of like, yeah, he's a receiver, move him out, get him moved along, because that wasn't plan A.
Yeah.
Plan A was that they drafted him as a running back. He is in, ironically enough, I suppose, former NFL wide receiver Todd Pinkston's running back room. He's the running backs coach. That's where Bashard Smith is. He's been there all year. Yeah. I had to double check this, a little bit of a different deal, on Pro Football Reference because it seems wrong, but he had not returned a punt all season. Those returns he had were 2 for 55 with a 44-yarder in addition to 3 good kick returns. He hadn't been able to get over Nico Remigio in the depth chart. And look, point at Dave Toub, point at whoever you want. I don't know. But we are 16 games into his rookie season. He's been active and around for all of them. The running back room has been atrocious, and you have no idea what you have in Bashard Smith. And look, if he got out there and he just looked slow with the ball in his hand, you just, okay, well, there's just no burst and it's just a whiff. Hey, it's a 7th-round pick, you move on. But they have to be able to fix this running back room and frankly, just figure out their weaponry for next year. Even if they move him back to wide receiver, I'm open to that alternate reality here. But what are you wasting? If it is wasting it, what are you wasting a season of him at running back for? Why was he announced as a running back at the podium? Or really, again, like why wasn't that a distinction made in training camp? If you're thinking, he might be more of a wide receiver. He'd better not be, because you entered this year with Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, and Elijah Mitchell as your running back room. Carson Steele, Clyde Edwards-Helaire makes his triumphant return. You needed Bashard Smith to be a running back for this running back room to have any burst at all. And so it seems like they were planning on him being able to be that guy. And then all of that out the window. Take all of the, the logic from the Chiefs side, the logic from Bashard Smith's side. Take all of it. Give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
Even then, whatever position they want Bashard Smith to play, he's not playing it. Because he's not playing. He's not getting better on the sidelines when Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco take 39 combined snaps to his 6 in a game that does not matter. I just, again, this is the same thing with Bosa and Royals, and I don't think that the Chiefs have lost their ability to evaluate players. I don't think Andy Reid is uninterested in developing young guys, but whatever the logic is, however you've gotten here, you're about to end a rookie season where Bashard Smith should have had every opportunity to find a role in this offense. You're going to leave this season not knowing nearly enough about him because he didn't really get the opportunity to. I just find the process so bizarre.
I think you make a really good point about what room he's in, right? And regardless of what room he's in, would we have the confidence in how he was being developed by the track record of these position coaches have in their positions? And the answer is no, right? So it doesn't matter if he's a running back, if he's a wide receiver. He's not with a position coach that shows the propensity to develop talent. That's a big bummer. And I just keep being bummed out by things.
It's been a bummer year.
Yeah, it's been a big bummer. That's been the word of the year, it really feels like, from just like literally everything on the field, off the field. Everything's just been a huge bummer. And that's kind of what's so frustrating. And And what bums you out about all these young guys not playing is it's like you would really like to see these guys get out here and play and get out here and develop, and that's probably going to be the best way for them to develop is getting actual game reps against they're playing once, they're playing starters at this point.
Exactly.
Like this isn't like a preseason game where they're also playing against threes and where they're also playing against other practice squad guys. They would be playing against actual starters. Like Tennessee Titans would have been a great opportunity for him to play against a defense that has some defensive players on it. We've done the exercise before where can you name 3 players on the Titans defense, and you cannot. It is kind of tough, but they do actually. It is a starting defense. I mean, the Broncos have a fine starting defense. I'm not ready to say that they're gold standard because they've kind of. If you've been paying attention to this Broncos defense, it's kind of steadily falling off as they're getting to the playoffs. It's
I am
Texans
excited.
Defense.
I'm excited for the Broncos postseason run. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, yeah. Do you see that Kelsey told Bo Nix, go get him one? Do you see that?
No.
Yeah, go get you one, is what he said.
Oh, I didn't. No, he could retire. Oh, what's Travis Kelce ever done for me? He told Bo Nix to go get one.
Yeah, I was sent that tweet this morning, and I ignored it.
Well, Trav's a nice guy. I thought it was interesting in the Amazon crew. We'll talk more about Kelce next week because it's going to be something to talk about.
Sure.
But, the Amazon crew was just following him throughout all of his post-game handshakes and everything. I thought, man, there are a lot of guys coming up to dap up Travis Kelce. And I do think, I mean, he's been one of the faces, arguably the face of the league international East right now, and he's been a Hall of Famer for 5 or 6 years already. I mean, I don't know how long ago he could have retired and still made the Hall of Fame. But that was just kind of cool to see. I would like for Bo Nix to never touch Travis Kelce again. But everybody else,
same.
I was okay to see that.
Yeah, no, I did you see the chief security getting in the way of the Amazon cameras following Kelce up the tunnel?
Yes, and my guy Josh Klingler on Amazon Prime got boxed out by security. He's the sideline reporter for the Chiefs radio network. He was just trying to get to the locker room, and security was out there. Look, God forbid, but if Chu Godric or Esapole go down, I know who I'm calling up from the practice squad. Get me those security people in the neon yellow. They were throwing up blocks. Their PFF grade was like a 94.
Yeah, I was impressed. Al Michael
Kling's got a rip. Kling's got a swim move, rip through or something. I need to see more physicality from him next week.
Imagine just watching Kling just do like a hump move, just like awesome at the club. Boom!
The Chris Jones walk back on that sack is a forklift.
So good. So good.
Oh, well, there you go. I've gotten my Bashard Smith feelings out. I'm glad that the game went decently well, all things considered. And as Zach Eisen tweeted out the athletic projection here of draft picks, 9% chance for the Chiefs to pick 8th, 29% chance to pick 9th, 37% chance to pick 10th, 21% chance to pick 11th, and 4% chance to pick 12th. So right now, odds are the Chiefs are picking 9, 10, or 11. Something to look forward to with draft season. There are real players in that range, and I've got just enough time to really talk myself into Carnell Tate, only for him to either go 8 or be passed over so the Chiefs can do something else. But Draftsmith is still a little ways away. Hoping you had a very Merry Christmas, though. Hope the festivities continue throughout the weekend. I know Tucker's going to go catch some rays. I am going to go lay down very still for a period of a couple of days. And we'll be back on Monday for more of this. Only Weird Games, as may or may not have been broken here. In the can. It's done, folks. Only Weird Games, I can tell you definitively, it's dropping tomorrow afternoon. So you can hear Only Weird Games with me, Nate Taylor, and Seth Kaiser on Saturday. We'll be back with more everything else on Monday. Until then, Merry Christmas. Enjoy the holiday weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Bye, Mom! Clingy absorb with Tamba. Good stuff, Seamus.
Is it jujitsu that Tomba does?
I can't remember. But yeah, we got to get some of that handwork for Kling. I love the comment section, man. How is that your takeaway from anything?
Yeah.
Well, enjoy Florida, Tucker. I'm excited for you to get to just be outside, be on beach time.
It's
You
not.
gonna get a tan, you think?
Maybe but like the weather's not supposed to be like. So I think it's supposed to get colder everywhere, right? So it's gonna be in like the 60s, which is still gonna be sick. It's gonna be better than being in like the 20s here, but it's not gonna be like.
I need a video of you in the water.
I'll hippo mode it, you know.
You'll what?
Hippo mode? You know what hippo mode is?
I don't think so.
It go up to like your nose in water.
Oh,
and it's just
yes,
like,
that's what I'd like to see. I would like you to do one brief vertical content video from Florida, and I want it to be just you with your nostrils just barely over the surface.
water temp isn't. Your mom says water temp's not bad, so.
If you want to go hang out with my parents,
I mean,
Chloe would love.
She's in the Gulf though, right?
I'm not gonna dox them on the stream, but I'll let you know after.
Okay, that's fair.
Their exact home address is 999 West 4th Street, Florida.
I'm convinced that you could give out your home address and people wouldn't think it's real.
That's because I live on 1 million Fancy Town Street.